Welcome to the UnderMike show with Sam, UFL Week 3 edition. How you doing?
Even Steven again for me. Could be better, could be worse.
You went the 1-1-1, right?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, exactly. You called it. I don't know how many people reference 1-1-1 as the shit house, but I know it is. So yeah, I went shit house. There it is, 1-1-1. And the UFL, I'm 2-2-1. Let's you didn't have any action last week, so you're still 1-0.
Mm-hmm.
Combined for the season, we're holding on to profit here, plus 5.55 units. Quick recap of my, picks from last week. The pick announced on the show won, so that was good. Plus 2.5. They had a horrendous real life money line loss, 20-19.
Yeah, they were looking good there.
Lost that game, but it didn't hurt us, so
yeah,
we'll take it. And then we had a push with DC -5.
That was an interesting one as well.
Yeah. It could have been a loss, could have been a win. So push is probably fair. This was painful. They won by 3. We had it at 4. They got down to like the 1 or 2 yard line, and they could have actually scored, and then they didn't score intentionally to kick the field goal and win by 3 at the buzzer, basically. So kind of unfortunate. I on that one, but 1-1-1. We'll take that and move forward from there. And I'm excited that I saw the tweet this week, and there's rumors swirling that UnderMike is back.
Yes, we do have a play this week, as was posted earlier in the week. We're going to have some wind at the Arlington game. So we got that in at under 43.5. So yeah, it's looking like this forecast is about the same as it was earlier in the week. It's going to be winds in the afternoon. Games, I believe, 1 o'clock. Looking at 15, 20 mile per hour winds, and I think you're going to see some higher gusts as well. So it's in that threshold where I like to jump on that early and get it in. So yeah, we got a good play there. The only other game, I believe, without a dome this week is in Birmingham. The weather looks very nice there. So this is our one for the week, the DC Arlington under.
The triple U, the UnderMike UFL under.
Oh, I like it. That's a new thing.
Yeah, the triple U. The triple U
triple
special.
U.
Yep.
We're going to try to go 2-0 on the triple U this week.
43.5.
What's it at now? I saw 43 earlier.
I still see 43.5, the ones I'm looking at. So
okay.
You suck.
I saw 43 at DraftKings. Or I don't know if it was yesterday, but yeah. People just don't look at it this closely. I mean, I thought when I bet it was going to drop.
I mean, it's UFL. The limits are low, probably or lower, so they don't take as much bets, and so it's hard to probably move a line. Speaking of moving a line, and mine went the other way. So here's my pick. I gave out Memphis +7, but guess what? It's good for you guys. Plus now 7.5. So grab it 7 again. Quickly, UFL 7 is not a key number like the NFL, even because touchdowns are 6 and the conversions are 1, 2, or 3, and there's no extra points kicked. So it's a little bit harder. Some teams always go for 2, some go for 1, depending on the situation. So yeah, there's no it's not a key number, but I'm going to ride Memphis again this week. I feel they're undervalued here. And I did, again, like I did the other week, I put together what I thought the spreads should be. And I'll bring that up here. I sent out a tweet. It's tough. I feel like we got some advantage again, potentially. I have here that I made Birmingham -3.5 this week. And now we're getting 7 or 7.5. I'm constantly undervaluing Birmingham because I feel like I'm off every week on the spread on them, but I'm going to take it this week. I'm going to take the Memphis here. And then the other lines I kind of came up with were Michigan -2. That opened Michigan -3. I now see Michigan -2.5.
Mm-hmm.
I hear some people, some cappers are on Houston there. I'm passing that game. And then the other one you discussed, I'm staying away from the side on DC Arlington. We'll just ride with your under. And then St. Louis opened -2 at San Antonio. That line has been all over the place, anywhere from -1 to even to +1. I could have a play later there. I might pull the trigger on St. Louis. I'm hearing a lot of people like the opposite. That's good. I like when they zig, I zag.
I like it.
When I zag, they zig. I don't know. But right now, those are the two plays. Last week, we gave out some DFS plays. I'll quickly throw them up here. I'll just go over them. So here they are. Every week, EJ Perry. Not a terrible game, but didn't do what we needed him to. Blake Jackson was indeed low owned, but also low performance, so it didn't help us. This guy we'll talk about a little bit more, Jonathan Adams. I've got some stats written down for him. Just surprising what he's done so far. I had him for the bounce back. He's still a candidate to bounce back. That's how little he did last week again for a player of his caliber. And Brandon Smith, I tweeted out, I got off this play because Mitchell, the guy that does a lot of UFL reporting, it's Mike Mitchell. I retweet him a lot. He had some information on this team, wrote a story about how they were disappointed in Smith, the coaching staff. So I kind of backed off him. I tweeted that out. So this week, let's see here. I have Darius Higgins, okay, as a value play. And the value meaning he's only 5,300 for DC. And we know that's the DC Arlington game where there's going to be wind.
Yeah.
So I like the running angle there on top of what we know from you. And just basically, while I've touted his backfield mate earlier in the year, who I thought would have a chance to really explode, Cameron Harris, they really rode Higgins last week. Higgins didn't play week 1, active week 2, and last week he got 11 carries at 29 yards and a touchdown, 3 targets in the passing game, caught 2 of them for 11 yards. So the only downside is he should be heavily owned, and I hate heavy ownership, but at 5,300, he's hard to pass up. So that's my value play. And then I'm going back to another type of guy, that stud receiver. Like I mentioned, he should be low owned. Hakeem Butler. I mean, this is one of the best receivers in the league. So far, here are his stats. And he's 8,900, which means I don't know if people are going to pay up for him for what he's done. 3 catches, 26 yards, no touchdowns. 2 catches, 23 yards, no touchdowns. Total of 9 targets in 2 games. Meanwhile, Marcel Aitman, who I talked about last week, has had back-to-back games with touchdowns. He's got 10 catches, 174 yards, 3 touchdowns, 13 targets. He's 1,700 less. I mean, again, a lot of times in DFS, if you're playing these $10, $15 tournaments with 1,000 people in them, you got to sometimes, like I said, zig when they zag. So I'm going Hakeem Butler here. He, I think, is going to be the lowest owned of their wide receivers. And maybe he bounces back because he's got the talent and he's always been a stud in these spring ball leagues. Another option, again, is to potentially, and I'm not putting him on here, but would be to ride Jonathan Adams again. He's done similar to Hakeem Butler in the fact that 2 games in, he's got total of 7 catches, 75 yards, 10 targets. Very similar, so he's doing nothing. I mentioned last week that Daewoo Davis, his backfield mate, outperformed him in game 1, and he outperformed him in game 2, and he's 1,200 less. So that's another guy where, like, it kind of seems obvious if you're just trying to build like a cash game team.
Yeah.
Daewoo Davis 7,000, Aitman 7,200, Higgins 5,300. Start there with those 3 guys. But for GPPs, which is what I'm trying to give advice on, I think you can't really have all the guys that are likely to be big chalk. So that's what I base those picks on there.
Okay. Good deal. So we're set this week with our 2 plays. Got some DFS action going.
Possibly 3-0. I might add a play. Might add St. Louis. Got to think more about it.
Okay. Well, we'll keep a lookout for that. And other than that, that's all we got here. And that's the Zigzag Week 3 edition for us. That's all I got.
Zag, zag, zig, whatever you need to do.
So, all right.
Later. Peace.